Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Mass. Here we have the Lovely Gentleman versus the Wizards on Eureka Tell. This Death and Taxes list, very spicy, all sorts of cards. I'm actually not sure what this first one-drop is. Giver of Runes. Looks like a Giver of Runes. I don't know if that's Mother of Runes number 5, or if they actually just think the card is better overall. Not being able to protect itself is definitely an issue for any type of recursive removal. Things like Punishing Fire. Can just mow through this way easier, though, I mean, to be fair, Punishing Fire is really bad for you anyways. Thalia, along with a Rashad Port, and this is kind of classic Death and Taxes lineup here. We've got some Mana Denial on board already. Thalia is going to tax every non-creature spell, and now Karakas as well. And this is pretty brutal opening here for Death and Taxes. Tapping this Rashad Port for Stoneforge Mystic. We'll see if this ends up being wise. It does set a clock. Going after the mana. May end up being more useful. It would have forced a delay in this upcoming Brainstorm. As it stands, the Wizards have set up a ability to brainstorm and shuffle away the dead cards. Just 2 more damage coming back in. And fetching twice. We'll see if he responds to either. No. Interesting. I thought he had a brainstorm there. Does he have everything he needs? Oh, and he's going to impulse. He finds the Show and Tell. City of Traders. And now Show and Tell. What does this put in? There's a Karakas on the other side of the board already. Death and Taxes has at least a Batterskull they can put in. So you're definitely hitting the hornet's nest. This is a team tournament, the ELD Team Trio Open, so Modern, Pioneer, and Legacy. Great turnout for this, and the team of the Lovely Gentleman coming to an agreement. Omniscience, is that Omniscience? I believe it's Omniscience. We've got a ETB tutoring up a Sword of Fire and Ice, and now Cunning Wish grabbing Shared Summons, and that should be a wrap. Shared Summons going to cost 1 more mana. Luckily, Lotus Petal does exactly that, and it's going to be grabbing Emrakul and Gristlebrand. And Eureka Tell showing a tremendous amount of resilience in the face of disruption. Just a single Show and Tell does it. That impulse, digging deeper, finding the Show and Tell. That was the only thing that the deck needed. Looked to me like they would brainstorm and then shuffle, but you know, when you're only looking for one card, Impulse does dig deeper, and it found him exactly what he needed. Slight other note there is fetching out both lands does remove 1 land from the mix, so you're seeing 4 cards out of, say, 48 instead of 3 cards out of 49. Very minuscule, but every little percentage point counts. It's also the question of the plan B. If that impulse does whiff, That brainstorm ends up being pretty terrible, but the Wizards making the call may have been in a situation where whiffing just would have been unacceptable. That is the type of decision you need to make with Eureka Tell. You know, if you're in a situation where if you don't actually get there, you're going to lose. You just have to go pedal to the metal. We see a show and tell in hand. I see a glimmer of red for force of will. Does he have enough mana to go along with this? The lovely gentleman throwing theirs back. They know what they need to stop. And I think I saw a flash of a soul land there, so this could be a very quick game here for the Wizards. Death and Tax is going to do all it can to make the game a very long grind. Planes go. There's the Cunning Wish in hand. Enlightened Tutor. Going to set the lovely gentleman back a card. Putting a deafening silence on top. That will be the draw for turn. And he is going to cast it. That gets Force of Willed, pitching that Cunning Wish. Passing the turn with Intuition in hand. Oh, and this looks like a suspect keep if the lovely gentleman passed without playing another land. This will not do. Enlightened Tutor stops you from having a shot at drawing lands for turn. It actually denies you a draw, so that is all in on that deafening silence, not only resolving, but also stopping the Wizards from really doing anything. And now we have Show and Tell. Perhaps they've got a trump card in hand. Omniscience. Flicker Wisp targets, and now Cunning Wish, and that is going to be a wrap. We will go through it for those unfamiliar. Firemind's Foresight is going to be able to get a casting cost, instant with casting cost 1, 2, and 3. That's going to be Brainstorm, Impulse, and Cunning Wish. The Wizards are then going to be able to Impulse, Brainstorm, putting the most expensive card in their hand on top of their library, and then Cunning Wish for Release the Ants, and actually win the game in response. So Impulse resolving right now. Now Brainstorm. And we'll see what he's got to put on top of the library. And worst case scenario, going to be grabbing a shared summons, grabbing both creatures, and just being able to cast them on the following turn when Omniscience comes back. That would be the worst case scenario. Going to be an additional Brainstorm, digging one more. Interesting situation there. Could have Cunning Wished for shared summons, and then shared summons in response to get a shuffle. Then that Brainstorm would have saw fresh cards. It'd probably be fine here. Let's see how this goes. The reason you might want to do that is in case they have some type of follow-up play like this. Thalia is actually resolving. And now Cunning Wish. Grabbing the shared summons, and this will do it. Also could have Cunning Wish in response to the Thalia, but this is gonna do it. So slight inaccuracies there, but the power level did not necessitate perfect play at all. Really, that happens sometimes with a deck like Eureka Tell. Even if you don't do it absolutely perfectly, it's totally fine and completely understandable in that circumstance. You're literally going to win either way, whether you do it on your opponent's turn or on your turn. I'm a little bit of a stickler. I personally like to try and always play the most accurately, especially when you're in a situation where you have to play in turns. That I've seen a lot of pretty good players crumple just sitting there playing in turns, or in a top 8 situation where the judge is watching and just mandating that you play faster. Either way, but yeah, Eureka Tell getting past a deck that actually made short work of a Sneak and Show variant earlier. So very interesting to see how little splashes make a big difference in Legacy. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.